Hello, my name is Said, and today I'm going to take a look at what flow theory is and how it can be implemented in an educational context. By the end of this presentation, we will know a bit about gamification, game-based learning, and the effects of flow theory on the students' motivation and learning performances. Csikszentmihalyi first introduced the flow theory in 1975. In positive psychology, a flow state is the mental state in which a person performing some activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. Three characteristics of flow states is reported by persons who experienced flow in their activities. And as it's obvious, the activity must be active, not passive, like watching TV or taking a bath. But it happens in activities like doing a job, playing music, or etc. These characteristics are: first, the activity must have clear goals and progress. This establishes a structure and direction. The second one is the task must provide clear and immediate feedback. This helps to negotiate any changing demands and allows adjusting performance to maintain the flow state. And the last one is good balance is required between the perceived challenges of the task and one's perceived skills. Although these two terms, gamification and game-based learning, are used interchangeably, but there are differences between these two concepts. Game-based learning is training that uses game elements to teach a specific skill or achieve a specific learning outcomes. It takes your core content and objectives and makes it fun. Gamification is the application of game mechanics in a non-game context to promote desired behavior and drive learning outcomes. One of the most important theories behind gamification and game-based learning is flow theory. It means these concepts try to increase a student's motivation and engagement by providing an educational environment which participants are in the flow state by enjoying the activity. Like any other game, educational games work with failure and success mechanisms. It means when the user overcomes difficulties in the process of the game, it will have positive feedback. On the other hand, negative feedbacks appear when someone cannot finish the activity, which creates some levels of anxiety. This mechanism keeps users in the flow state. Also, the users play the games for playing instead of the results. This is called intrinsic motivation, which increases by keeping the users in a flow state. With the help of the balance between challenge and task feedbacks and intrinsic motivation, the students' engagement with learning will increase. Vitrian et al. Explored a part of the challenge-skill balance in a business game simulation based on a 4-channel model of flow. First one happens when low scores in the challenge and high scores in skills, which is boredom. The second one is anxiety. It means low scores in a skill and high scores in challenge. Apathy is low scores in a skill and challenge. And finally, flow means high scores in a skill and challenge. Before checking the results of that research, first we need to find out what is perceived and what is actual learning. The term perceived learning refers to a student's self-report of knowledge gain, generally based on some reflection and introspection. The term actual learning distinguishes real learning from perceived learning. Actual learning reflects a change in knowledge identified by rigorous measurement learning. The results show that by changing the level of challenge in the game, the position of the participants will change in different channels. And it was found that the highest level of perceived learning was reported by those in the flow state, in comparison to those in the apathy channel that reported the lowest level of perceived learning. Another study's findings propose that although the students reported a high rate of perceived learning while playing the game, the ability to apply their knowledge in the formal context of problem solving after the game had a low rate. By changing the challenge skill level of a task, we can gain the most efficient state of mind, which is flow. Many studies indicate that the learner's flow experiences significantly impact intrinsic motivation and perceived learning when the participants play the game. However, there are still doubts about gamification and game-based learning, that how can they improve the master knowledge. Future studies can focus on how being in flow can help students improve their actual knowledge to use in a formal context.